Good morning, Dr. Lecter. My name is Clarice Starling. May I speak with you? You're one of Jack Crawford's, aren't you? I am, yes. Closer, please. Closer. I'm here to learn from you. Maybe you can decide for yourself whether or not I'm qualified enough to do that. That is rather slippery of you, Agent Starling. Jack Crawford must be very busy indeed if he's recruiting help from the student body. Busy hunting that new one, Buffalo Bill. What a naughty boy he is. In this chilling movie, The Silence of the Lambs, a terrifying serial killer, James Gumb, also known as Buffalo Bill, has emerged, preying on young women and skinning them to create grotesque women's suits. Amidst the rising panic, seasoned FBI executive Jack Crawford takes a bold step, entrusting a young, ambitious FBI trainee named Clarice Starling with the case. To solve the puzzle, Crawford believes they need the help of Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a brilliant former psychiatrist and notorious cannibal held in a Baltimore asylum. Lecter, however, has been uncooperative and defiant. Crawford hopes that Clarice's fresh perspective will be the key to unlocking his mind. Clarice, a mix of determination and resolve, schedules a meeting with Lecter. She is warned by both Crawford and the asylum's director, Chilton, to be cautious and reveal nothing personal. Chilton recounts a horrifying tale of Lecter attacking a nurse, eating her tongue with a frighteningly normal pulse. Upon meeting, Lecter immediately sees through Clarice's polite facade. He is a calm, civilized man on the surface, but a monster underneath. His cell is filled with his intricate drawings, showcasing his superior mental abilities. Clarice quickly realizes that sincerity is the only way to get through to him. At the end of their first encounter, Lecter tells Clarice to seek out a former patient, Miss Moffett. A few days later, a patient named Miggs dies after swallowing his own tongue. Lecter had whispered to him all afternoon, a twisted act of vengeance for Miggs' rudeness toward Clarice. During a phone call with Crawford, Clarice reveals that Lecter had meticulously destroyed all his patients' records. Remembering Lecter's cryptic advice to look deeply into yourself, Clarice deduces that yourself might be a place. She connects it to a yourself storage facility in Baltimore. There, she finds an old car and, in its trunk, a preserved human head in a jar. Clarice returns to the asylum to confront Lecter with her discovery. Lecter reveals the head belongs to Benjamin Raspail, his former patient, but denies that he was a transvestite, calling him a manic depressive. He offers a new quid pro quo deal. He will help Clarice find Buffalo Bill, but only if she reveals her own past. Meanwhile, Buffalo Bill's reign of terror continues. He stalks and kidnaps a curly-haired girl, later identified as Catherine Martin, the daughter of a senator, raising the stakes significantly. He keeps his victims alive for 3 days, shoots them, skins them, and dumps their bodies in rivers. The body of the victim is found, and Clarice and Crawford investigate. Lecter's unsettling insights have helped Clarice profile the killer, a white male, 30 to 40 years old, with high physical strength, who lives in a house. Clarice notices clues on the victim's body, including glitter nail polish, broken nails with dirt, and a cocoon from an exotic Asian moth stuffed in her throat. The killer had also skinned 2 diamond-shaped sections from her back. Clarice realizes the killer must be cultivating the moths. The scene shifts to Buffalo Bill's house, a grotesque menagerie of insects, women's clothes, and a pit where Catherine is being held. Clarice returns to Lecter, offering him a deal from the senator, a new clinic, books, a vacation, and hot meals in exchange for his help. Lecter is only interested in Clarice's past, and she, in turn, reveals the deaths of her parents. Lecter, in a display of twisted empathy, develops a paternal sympathy for her. He then reveals that the moths represent Bill's desire for transformation and his belief that he is a transsexual, which is why there are so many women's clothes in his house. Lecter explains that Bill is not a real transsexual, but is driven by childhood trauma. In another disturbing scene, we see Buffalo Bill, speaking in the third person, tormenting Catherine in the pit. The senator, desperate, meets with Lecter. He taunts her before giving a false description of Buffalo Bill and his location. He reveals the killer's name is Louis Friend, but later gives the senator a false description of him. Clarice visits Lecter again, this time at a new clinic. Lecter tells her she already has all the information she needs. He asks her why she ran away as a child, and she reveals a harrowing memory of lambs being taken to slaughter. She tried to save one but was stopped. Lecter believes that by saving Catherine, she will finally silence the screaming of the lambs in her nightmares. Lecter, a master of deception, orchestrates a daring escape. He pulls a hidden metal pin from his mouth, uses it to open his handcuffs, and attacks 2 officers. He brutally kills one and critically wounds the other. He then steals the wounded officer's face and clothes, using them as a disguise to escape undetected. Clarice, following a hunch, visits the home of Buffalo Bill's first victim. She finds photos of the girl in her underwear and a dress with diamond-shaped sections cut out, the same pattern as the wounds on the victims. She realizes the killer knew the victim and was making a suit from her skin. Crawford calls and tells her they've found Bill's location, but Clarice, acting on her own, decides to talk to a former coworker of the victim. She gets the address of an old seamstress, Miss Littman, whom the victim had helped. Crawford and his team raid a different house, a false lead. Clarice arrives at Miss Littman's house, where she is greeted by a man she doesn't immediately recognize as Buffalo Bill. She sees a death's head moth and sewing tools, and instantly realizes she's in the presence of the killer. She pulls her gun, but he flees into the basement. Clarice pursues him, finding the pit where Catherine is held, an insect lab, and the decomposing body of Miss Littman in a tub. The lights go out, and Bill, wearing night vision goggles, stalks Clarice in the darkness. He raises his gun, but Clarice hears the sound and fires first, killing him. In the aftermath, Clarice is promoted to a special agent. She receives a chilling phone call from Lecter, who has escaped to the Bahamas. He asks if the lambs have stopped screaming, a final, twisted act of psychological manipulation. He then reveals he is about to have an old friend for dinner, as he watches Dr. Chilton, the asylum director, get off a plane. Lecter, now a free man, walks away, ready to claim his next victim. And movie concludes.